Sony E16 to 55mm f2.8G. Honest review. The APS-C zoom that replaces your primes. What if one lens could replace 3 primes in your bag and actually make you shoot more? Here's the honest reality. Most APS-C photographers juggle multiple lenses, constantly swapping between wide, standard, and portrait focal lengths. You miss moments. Your sensor gets dusty. Your shoulders get tired. But staying with a sluggish kit zoom means soft images and dark apertures that kill creativity in low light. It's frustrating, and you know your camera can do better. Let me show you what changed everything for thousands of Sony shooters. Think about your last day out shooting. You started with a wide prime for street scenes, switched to a standard lens for environmental portraits, then grabbed something tighter when the light turned golden. Every lens change stole seconds. A few times, you probably missed the shot entirely. Worse, after a long day, your backpack felt heavier than it should, and you spent the evening cleaning dust spots off your sensor. Now, multiply that by every weekend, every trip, every spontaneous outing. The hassle slowly drains the joy out of photography. You stop bringing your camera everywhere because the kit feels like a commitment, not a companion. Deep down, you know your creative eye is sharper than your gear allows. You want that one reliable zoom that feels invisible in your hands, fast enough for dim cafes, sharp enough for large prints, and versatile enough to stay on your camera all day. Is that too much to ask? Here's what actually works. The Sony E16 to 55mm f2.8G arrived with zero compromises. Don't just pick any zoom lens. Make sure it has a constant f2.8 aperture so you never experience exposure shifts and low light limitations when zooming again. That single feature transforms how you shoot. You zoom from 16mm wide street scenes to 55mm flattering portraits, and your aperture holds steady. The exposure stays locked. Your creative flow never breaks. Built with 17 elements, including 2 advanced aspherical and 3 ED glass elements, this lens delivers edge-to-edge sharpness that rivals prime lenses. The XD linear motor, inherited from Sony's G Master series, locks focus instantly and silently, tracking faces and fast-moving subjects without hunting. Portrait shooters will love the 9-blade circular aperture that melts backgrounds into creamy, smooth bokeh with perfectly round specular highlights. Travel photographers can leave the prime trio at home. One user reported shooting an entire Christmas garden handheld at night without a tripod, nailing sharp frame after sharp frame. Another FX30 video creator said it completely replaced their 18 to 105mm f4 because the constant f2.8 and close focusing unlocked shots they couldn't get before. What would you capture if your lens never held you back? Reviews from working photographers back this up consistently. One street shooter wrote that this is the sharpest lens they have ever used, with autofocus so fast on the A6400 that not a single moving shot was lost. An analyst described it as the definitive zoom for APS-C, rivaling full-frame glass in optical consistency. Users with the A6700 praise how the XD motors fully exploit the camera's AI autofocus for wildlife and action. A portrait photographer noted the bokeh is beautiful enough to confidently replace Sigma's 16mm, 30mm, and 56mm f1.4 primes. That's a strong statement. Even the build impresses. The dust and moisture-resistant design stands up to unpredictable weather, and the fluorine coating repels fingerprints and water. At 494 grams, it balances perfectly on compact bodies without front-heavy fatigue. Real photographers are producing real work with this glass every day. The proof is in the portfolios. Sharp optics, constant f2.8 brightness, and a focal range that covers nearly everything you love to shoot. That's what the Sony E16 to 55mm f2.8G delivers, and shooters worldwide are making it their everyday lens for good reason. Join thousands already simplifying their kit without sacrificing image quality. I've dropped my link in the description and pinned it in the comments. Just click and see the full specs and sample work for yourself. No pressure, no hype. If it fits your creative vision, it might just become the last zoom you ever need. For demo videos and current pricing, check the link in the description.